What is a proper application of scriptures that are widely used and misused? I've been to all parts of the world where pastors misuse their scriptures. I was in a pastor's conference when a man said he was still practicing the offerings of the book of Leviticus. Can you believe that? Every Sunday, still trying to offer the sacrificial goats and animals and bulls of Leviticus. I also heard of a pastor who preached on Zacchaeus climbing a tree to meet Jesus and said that all his people needed to climb a tree to meet Jesus. Now that's wrong application for sure, but it also comes from wrong interpretation. In a fascinating book by Robert Trainer, it's available on the internet free for a PDF download, and I've quoted it in my preparing expository sermons on how we can either misinterpret, subinterpret, or overinterpret Scripture. The way I'd like to say it to you right now is don't interpret and apply Scriptures randomly. You can make the Scripture do whatever you want. You've got to be very, very careful. Don't interpret the Scripture magically. That's how the soothsayers and clairvoyants look, and astrologers look at parrot read cards, you know. Don't interpret the Scripture prejudicially, putting your own meanings into it. As much as we would like for Scriptures to say what we want them to say, we have to submit. So I've actually suggested some tests for good interpretation. In preparing expository sermons, I talk about authenticity. Can I make an authentic case that the author was indeed proposing this particular interpretation and application for his audience? Unity. I remember hearing a message where the first part of this man's sermon, the word brother stood for unbeliever, and the second part of his message, the word brother stood for believer. That's not unity. Consistency with the rest of the Bible. As I use the glasses metaphor for preparing sermons, I also talk about the wings, that the text wing needs to be related to all of Scripture. So consistency with all of Scripture. Also with the history of interpretation, think about what other fine scholars have said, so that you're not on your own saying, I am going to bring something new that nobody else has ever discovered. Simplicity. Am I using all kinds of complex backdoor ways to come to this meaning, or is it rather straightforward? Biblical scholars have something called the perspicuity of Scripture, the clarity of Scripture. Scripture is already clear. It's humorous to note how much the Scriptures throw light on the commentaries. And finally, honesty. Am I being honest with what the Scripture says, or to my denomination, to my theological conviction, or what I was brought up with? Think about the context of that particular verse. For example, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I don't think you can use that verse for doing well on your exam or on the cricket field, on the basketball court. Why? Because in the context, the Apostle Paul is following verse 12 about how he knows in any state that he is, he can be content, whether times of prosperity or times of poverty, good or evil circumstance. He has the ability to face all circumstances. And he even sees them for the sake of the gospel, because of the one who strengthens him. I would like for that verse to give me all kinds of opportunities to apply across a whole range of challenges that I face, but in context, think about the intent and the author's proposal in the intent for his readers, and then connect to them. So use Scripture, but don't misuse them. Quote Scripture, apply them, however, with context and intent.